instruction right now. I want you to zero in on it and go back for reference on the Patrick system. It's the most powerful way of playing in the casino for the don't better. Now, you know that the 7 beats you on the come-out roll. How you stop that is by betting both ways at the same time. You would then bet $5 on the do and $5 on the don't. Now, the 7 can't beat you. If you want, you could increase your bet to $15 on the do and $15 on the don't and put $1 in the 12. You've now nullified every number on the board. The theory behind the system is that you want to beat that 7. Let's assume the 6 comes. That means you are in no way in danger of having a 7 beat you on the come-out roll. The 6 now becomes your point. You're going to lay $6 odds against the 6. You are now going to come through the don't come to establish the second number. Suppose the 5 comes. That $5 don't come moves behind the 5. You remove your odds off of the 6. 5 is your dominant. Let's assume now you bet $10 do and $10 don't. 5 became the point. You lay the odds against the 5. The only thing that could beat you is a ricochet on the 5. Since the 5 can only be made 4 ways, as opposed to 6 ways to make the 7, you are now in a position to where you have a free bet coming through the don't come. You could, if you want, cover the 11. I wouldn't, because you got the 2 and the 3 working for you. You lay 3-2 odds against the point number of 5, and you come through the don't come with a single chip, leaving the 7 open. If the 7 comes, you're going to lose the $5 in the don't come, but pick up a $10 profit on the odds bet covering the 5. Let's assume the 8 comes. The don't come bet moves behind the 8. You remove your odds, and you have now become a don't better with the 8, and you were never in trouble of the 7 beating you on a come-out roll. If you're going to play the Patrick system, you could bet in increments of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. If you bet in increments of 5, 5 do and 5 don't, suppose the 8 becomes the point. Lay the odds against the 8 and come through the don't come with a $25 bet. To cut down your chances of losing on the 8, you have 5 ways of losing if the 8 comes. You could reduce it down to 4 by putting $1 or $2 or $3 on a hard 8, cutting it down to 4 ways of losing on the 8 with a $25 bet and a don't come. You could cover it with a $1 bet on the 11, to nullify the loss on the don't come. Suppose the 10 comes. The don't come number moves behind the 10. You take your odds off of the 8, remove your hard 8. You now have $25, no 10. You could sit with the $25, no 10. Or you could put $2 or $3 in the hard 10 to reduce your chances from 3 down to 2 ways of losing on the 10. Or you could come back and hedge against the 10. You could bet $10 10, $15 10, $20 10. Hedging against it, putting yourself in a position to where you can absolutely not lose. What you could do is place the 10 or buy the 10 for $25. Now if the 7 comes in, you lose the buy, but you win the no 10 for a wash. But if the 10 comes in, you lose your no 10 of $25, but you win $50. What you've done now is put yourself into a position to where you can win, but you cannot lose. It's a wash position. The Patrick system beats the 7 on the come-out roll. The amount of variations off of that system is innumerable. I've given you a couple of basics. You sit down and work it out on your own. The system works for the don't better. One last thing. Suppose you want to follow the trend on the Patrick system. Betting both ways at the same time, if 6 or 8 becomes a point, you could become a right better. Take your odds behind the 6 or 8. Just sit there, figuring that the 6 and 8 are so powerful for the right better, they're against the wrong better in means of becoming a shot against the house. So you become a wrong better if 4, 5, 9, or 10 becomes a point. You become a right better if 6 or 8. If you stay with the wrong side and the shooter makes the 9, for instance, which was his point, you could, on the next roll, become a straight right better. You're following the trend. This way here, you'll catch every hot roll on the table. And you would stay right as long as that particular shooter kept throwing numbers. This system can be worked out for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. A tremendous amount of combinations. If you have any questions, drop me a note. But this system works. Learn it through the tapes or get the book and find out how to play it. Okay? Let me give you an idea what vigorish is. It's the house edge. It's the edge that most of you people give a lot of edge back to the house because of the stupidity in which you play. But there is a set vig based on every number on the table. Like suppose you were to place the 6 or the 8. The house vig is 1.51. If you were to place the 5 or the 9, the house vig is 4%. If you were to place the 4 or the 10, the house vig is 6.67. So the house allows you, in the case of the 4 or 10, to buy that number. Let's assume two people walked up to the table. One person says, place the 4, please. The other person says, buy the 4, please. Buy the 4, please. What we're going to do now, show you the difference between both. If the 4 comes in, let's assume the 4 comes in, it pays 9 to 5. That person is going to be paid $45. 25, 35. Right, what'd you do with all my red chips? Boy, oh boy, I went broke when I didn't even play it. They would pay me $45. By buying the number, by paying the 5% commission, they are going to pay you true odds. True odds are 2 to 1. It is a better deal when you bet at least $25 to buy the number, either the 4 to 10, rather than place it. Now, you wouldn't buy the 5 or the 9 because the vigorous against you by placing is only 4%. So why would you buy something for 5% when you could place it for 4%? So the 4 or the 10 you buy when you reach increments of $25. This guy here is going to be paid $45. This person here is going to be paid $50, the true odds. They take $1. What do you take? $1 for your on the buy. Each house, you can go to a house in Atlantic City, they'll charge you $1.25. Another will charge you $1. Out in Vegas, each house has their own. They'll kill the quarter on you. You're going to find a house, when you walk up there, ask them, do you take breakage? That means that they're going to charge you the quarter. In the case of the 4 to 10, just remember you should buy it rather than place it when you reach increments of $25. I want to talk about the field bet. Kill that one, Barb. A lot of you people say, well, I like to bet the field. Look at all the chances I have to win. When you bet the field, they give you the 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, and 12. But what you've got to do is find a number of ways you can make those numbers. Look at the number of ways that you could win in the field. If you take the 2, if you take the all the numbers where you win, the 2 can be made one way, but they pay you 2 to 1. The 3 can be made 2 ways. The 4 can be made 3 ways. The 9 can be made 4 ways. 10 can be made 3 ways. The 11, 2 ways. The 12, 1 way, but they pay you double. So you've got 2, 4, 7, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 ways of winning. The ways you can lose are the 5, which can be made 4 ways. The 6 can be made 5 ways. The 8 can be made 5 ways. And the 7 can be made 6 ways. That is 20 ways to lose. So just because they give you a lot of numbers, you have to find out how many ways you can make those numbers. The answer is 20 to 18. But if you must bet the field, there's a way to bet it. I do it on the regression system. I would wait for a number to come. Whether 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, or 12 comes, and it doesn't matter if it's on the come-out roll or after a number's established, let's assume the 4 comes. Now what I'm going to do now is bet higher than the minimum. It's a $5 bet. I am going to bet either $6 or $7 or $8 or $9 or $10 on the field, higher than the minimum. The idea being that after a hit, like suppose on the next roll, 9 comes in, and I was betting $8. Barbie is going to pay me $8, even money. I'm going to take back the 8 I won and regress my bet down to $5, locking up a profit of $3. Now I won $8, and now I still got a $5 bet running. Even if I lose, I've got a profit of $3. If I win, I'm going to win another 5, which puts me in a position to where I cannot lose whether I win or lose on the next roll. Let's assume another field number comes, 11. Barbie's going to pay me $5. For 2 seconds, I want you to think what I said to you a long time ago about our betting progression. What is it called? It's called up and pull. We've got $5 here and $5 that we won. I want you to go up to $8 and pull back a $2 profit, constantly going up. Let's assume 9 comes. Barbie's going to pay me $8. I'm going to go up and pull. I'm going to go up with my bet to $10 and pull back a profit. Now suppose we lose. 5 comes in. We lose at $10. Here's the 8 I started with, and there's my profit. The theory being that after a win, you regress down. Also, you do not bet the field until after a field number comes. So if 5 comes, you don't bet. If 6 comes, you don't bet. If 8 comes, you don't bet. You only bet after a field number comes. When it comes, then you start to bet. And you bet in the regression system. If it's a $5 table, you'd bet 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. It's a $10 table, you bet 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, locking up a profit. Called a regression system on the field. I cannot let the tape go by without showing you come betters, that it is a rotten bet. For 150,000 years, people